What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Rivian. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out associated to the company itself, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. With that, let's get right to it. So Rivian did go up 0.89%, continuing the nice momentum after hours, 0.7%. As far as volume, kind of low, 31.9 million shares were traded, 55.1 is the average. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So as Powell was speaking, you did see a lot of institutions buying, and then after hours, you abnormally see a lot of institutions selling. And you can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. So a lot of these institutions selling kind of caused this right here, but like I said, it was kind of bought up very fast. Dark pool transactions very popular today, so these are all the transactions that did occur. And so when it comes down to dark pool, that is often enough used to buy shorts and larger institutions. So when it comes down to shorts, despite some of the positive data that did come out from Powell, so once again kind of reiterated that there's going to be most likely 3 rate hikes, 25 basis points a piece, again most likely, and based on this, it is anticipated that now there's a 70% likelihood that in June, or the June meeting, there is going to be a rate cut. So a lot of optimism. So the market is going back to, once again, thinking it's going to be sooner rather than later. But despite all of that positive stuff that now is going across the broader market, you saw shorts double down. So they did increase 4.13 million shares today. 18.24% of the free float is being shorted. 125.95 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 1.05%, and utilization is 57.24. So even though they were doubling down and a lot of the data is very high, I still do not see Rivian being a short squeeze play. Just, it's not fully there, right? So cost to borrow average, or cost to borrow, is very low. Utilization is very low as well. So in my opinion, I don't see Rivian being a short squeeze play. Just I'm bringing this up more of an analysis, I guess, if that makes sense, because by shorts increasing and doubling down on somewhat of a green day kind of shows that they feel like it's not justified. So again, that's kind of what it is. As far as news, there hasn't been any recent SEC filings or press releases, but as far as unofficial news, you do see them kind of giving discounts. So it looks like if you are leasing probably for the end of the quarter, so a nice little push for that, you do see $2,500 off your lease. So I think that's kind of a good thing. Aside from that, is just, it is what it is. People are just speculating on what might be coming next. And so let me know your thoughts on, for instance, why shorts would be doubling down so much on Rivian. And I did get a request from a individual right here, so shout out to Oscar. So they asked about more of a Rivian video, so obviously they prompted this video right here. And as far as the Elliott wave technicals, for those of you that do like that, it does have $9.30 being the pivot point, and for as long as Rivian is above that, then it is anticipated to get back to that $15 range, so $15 to $16 range. So I think overall that is fairly optimistic. While I'm actually on here, as far as any recent analyst ratings, last one was done about 6 days ago, and that was Alexander Potter with Piper Sandler, who does have a 47% success rating, did give a upgrade and $21 price target. So like I said in the past, analysts do really like Rivian, see a lot of opportunity, and the Elliott wave technicals are pointing to higher highs coming. So things are starting to look fairly good despite institutions not really getting into Rivian, unless there's some negative that I'm not aware of. But Rivian, based on just the cash that they do have, it's very close to even the share price right now. So logically, I see Rivian being a good price, and this is why I own it. But as I've said in the past, you guys do whatever floats your boat. If you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, such as everything that you do see right here, just take a look at Interactive Brokers, link in the description below, and also the comments for all of it to be completely free. But moving on, just talking on some options, a lot of money was getting into Rivian through options. So maybe that's where people were kind of playing Rivian rather than physical common stock, maybe. But $7.53 million in calls being purchased versus $3 million in puts. Sentiment wise, somewhat evenly divided, but 45% of all the options being done today were bearish. And of the call options that were purchased, though, you do see a consensus for it to be above $12 by the end of this week. So a continuation of this positive momentum. And then looking at puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub $10.50. So kind of both extremes when it comes down to that. As far as looking at some of the fib levels, with it at $11.36, that's where it closed. It is trading between this S1 and the pivot. So in fact, it didn't really touch either point extreme. So the S1, so that's going to be the strong support, is going to be $10.56, and then $11.70 is going to be the next strong resistance. Because of what Powell did say, I think it is fair to assume that there's going to be a nice continuation of a rally into the rest of the week and possibly into early next week. So in reality, I feel like this 1170 won't really last too much longer, so it'll easily break above that and kind of trade between this pivot and the R1. So I think all in all, Rivian is going to be going up from here. Based on this though, you do see it considered very oversold, looking at the stochastic of course, and you do see a bullish deviation starting to form, so white line above the red. So overall, I think that's fairly good. Number of retail investors have been getting in over the last little bit, so despite the institutional presence kind of lacking, you do see retail really buying up Rivian, and I do feel like a lot of retail is starting to have kind of a flashback to when Rivian previously dipped to these prices, and everyone, even including institutions, were negative. But as soon as it started to spike back to 18 plus, or even getting close to that $15 Elliott wave technical, so if it gets back to 15, guarantee you're going to have a lot of institutions be like, hey, you know what? Rivian is a buy. It's just how messed up Wall Street is. At these prices, it is literally good as dog shit. But as soon as it goes up, it is the next big thing. It's just really, really messed up. So right now, by institutions not buying, I see that as kind of a good thing, if that makes sense, kind of reverse psychology. I don't know. Logically, just none of this makes sense overall with Rivian. So all in all, if you are investing in the long term, take advantage of these prices as what I am doing. Today, it did attempt to transition from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, but not really enough there. Like I said, without the lack of institutional backing, it was ultimately not going to have enough to get above that. So all in all, let me know your thoughts on Rivian. If you are one of those retail investors that have been getting in, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. And realistically, do you think that the Elliott wave technicals are correct for it to get to maybe the $15, $16 range? What's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, even though Rivian goes up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. That is a crazy deal, so just sign up while you can, only up until March the 31st. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.